Hello everyone, let me try to give an update since it's been a while how my hair is doing. I went to Eugenix February 8th, today is July 8th, so it's been 5 months since that. As a reminder, I had a beard hair, I had leg hair, and head hair to put in different areas on the head. I don't even remember anymore what went where. Let's take a look. It seems to be looking pretty good, and then I'll talk about it a little more. Up front here, it's hairline. So one thing you might notice here is, remember I used to have this pointy thing and now it kind of goes up a little bit. I actually had a laser hair removal because I was just sick of that hair. I'd wake up and it'd be pointy. There didn't seem to be any other way to deal with it. So I think even though it's a little bit lopsided now, I think it's like a lot better. If necessary, I might lower this a little bit to match this, but I'm much happier with it now. Okay, let's look at the right side here. This is almost squared off now. It's not quite perfect, but I can live with it. I had some of this temple point work, and they didn't put a lot of hair there. And I understand you don't need a lot to define the temple point. I would have liked a little more, and I might be able to fix that with some SMP, but it's all right. Let's look at the left side. That's really looking good, the left side. Okay, let's try to do a little bird's eye view here. Wait up. Top. Trying to get the back, sometimes it's difficult. And I was growing my hair all over longer. I just cut it yesterday. It was starting to look weird, but it seems to be laying down pretty flat. Let me just try to use my hand here. In some lighting, it can still look a little diffuse, but really looks pretty good. I gotta say I'm pretty happy with it. In like really bright direct lighting, like in a store, sometimes it'll be a little see-through, but I have enough, I guess, the critical mass that when I'm in like the sunlight, you can't really see through it anymore. I have finally overcome that combination of having enough hair, SMP. Look, so another thing, and I have some other clips I'll show you. My eyebrows have, I don't know what's happened. I never had like thick eyebrows, but some of the hair has fallen out here. And I actually also went to get eyebrow tattooing. And the lady, she just made it like too big, like Groucho Marx. It looked like Groucho Marx. And at first I was happy with it, but then I got home and I was like, this is not good. And the way they do that, it's a little different than the SMP. They make these cuts and then they'll put ink in there. And there was like just enough time. I came home and I like wiped really hard and I got it out because I just thought it looked ridiculous. But my eyebrow is still a little red from when I did that, and I'm gonna need to do that again at some point. I know you can like get transplantation in your eyebrows, but that doesn't seem necessary. I think the tattooing will be fine. I'm gonna show you my legs. Let me, I gotta take my shorts off. I'll go in the bedroom here. Looking kind of pasty here, but it is what it is. So there is definitely still some redness. It's turning somewhat a brown color, which I think is a good sign. On this knee here, but it's improved a lot. It's definitely on the way out, but it also is still there. A little bit red there still, but slow and steady. So I'm seeing improvement, and then there was still a little bit of hair left. So one thing I want to point out is when I went to the doctor in Thailand, you can see here it's almost bald, and just very little transection. I mean, she really got it all, and this is quite thinned out too. So whatever she extracted did not get transected and came out. If you remember, I got all of this removed. It was painful, and that seems to have almost all grown back. So there was a high transection rate in some areas with Eugenix, and you kind of start to think about the cost. You're paying per graft, so the cost goes up. So that, little dissatisfied with that. It's not a big deal, but I would have liked this hair to grow and not come back. I actually might just get the laser hair removal and get rid of that. See, we're in a different lighting here, so let's try to take another look. Back here. A couple weak spots, but looking pretty good. I think I did a little better job cutting my hair this time, and my hair does not get that thick on the sides anymore because I've extracted so much, which I think is mostly a good thing. Even when I have my hair normal, it looks a little bit like I have a fade. So that helps offset that I have less hair on the top of my head. Let me just try to, again, give you the real look here. I have nothing in, I don't have any kind of topic or pink stuff in my hair. It is what it is. So it's pretty amazing. Still very happy. So I'm still endlessly working on my book. I really am getting towards the end of it here. I just always find little things to edit, but I expect to have that done this month. Publish that soon. Give you an update when that happens. That's all for this part of the update. I'll play a couple other clips after this, and thanks for watching. I just got this micro needling, I guess eyebrow tattooing, because over time the hair here is kind of faded. It looks a little thicker than it was when I was naturally had eyebrows. I hope it's not looking funny, but I think it's going to look all right. It's interesting, you know, people talk about hairlines framing the face. People talk about hairline framing the face, but the eyebrow is very important too. Noi had it done. Can you lift your hat? Noi had the same thing done a while ago. Same thing. So now that I'm home and I'm looking at this, I think it needs to be significantly darker because I know it's like an illusion of hair in a way, just like my hair transplant is. Yeah, it doesn't quite seem to match. I guess it's better that it's not dark enough versus it's too dark. It's harder to fix. And I also imagine, like the SMP, this is gonna fade somewhat. So I think it looks a little funny in my opinion because it just kind of looks like makeup. And I imagine some of this is ink. And maybe when I wash the ink off, it will look better. One thing though is my wife went to the same place. It was a different artist. But I remember at first she wasn't satisfied. And then in a month she went back for a free touch-up that's included. And it looked a lot better. Now it's undetectable. So it might just be a matter of that I have to wait for a month and go back and it looks all right. It's not like I'm embarrassed by it or anything. But yeah, it does seem like it needs to be darker. Or something needs to be adjusted a little bit. I'll have to think about that. I have a whole month to think about that. I wasn't even going to make a video about this, and then as I was laying on the table and she was doing that, I was like, well, I do have a hair loss channel, and I have had hair loss on my eyebrow, so why not? So my hair has been growing pretty well, but I still have this little problem here. It's a little snaggletooth area of my hairline that I have tried speaking with multiple doctors to remedy and haven't had much success yet. Everyone seems to want to transplant around it. That doesn't seem to be the right course of action. If I lift, it's just like this one little clump that seems more forward than the other hair. And if I added some here, that would probably help. But I'm really just sick of this clump of hair. So today I'm gonna go look at some laser clinics in Bangkok, see if I can just get laser hair removal and get this little clump removed. It's kind of a shame to waste some hair, but I don't see any other alternative. And even if I got FUE and they use a pen extractor, there might be some scarring. So it's not that much hair. I just really hope if I do this that they are very precise about it. So I'm gonna be going later this afternoon. I don't know if they'll do it today, but that's definitely gonna be happening soon. And I think that'll really help things a lot. I really hate this little patch, and I always wake up every morning and it's just like pointing down. Everything else is really looking good. Go over here. Yeah, so I'm really at the point where I might be finished, but this is definitely not acceptable. One other thing I'll say is my hair is a little thin in this area right behind the hairline, and that can cause some problems. If I comb it all forward, you can see there's like, I don't know what kind of hair is here because I've had so many different types of, because I've had so many donor sources for hair. But this patch does not seem to want to grow. I mean, I can grow this eventually, but it's kind of ridiculous. So at some point I may need to put some more in this band here, and I think I still have enough. But for right now, I want to get rid of this little clump. We'll see how that goes. Wow. So I already got laser treatment, this IPL laser. And they were very quick. Whatever laser they used this time was much less painful than I used in my previous attempt. And that already looks better. Well, there's actually a couple other spots, but yeah. So that was just one session. It'll probably grow back, but so far so good. And it's called BB Clinic. BIBI, actually, right there, BB Clinic. All right, so I'm home now, and already it just looks a lot better. I mean, that was only like 50 hairs, that one little clump, but it just already looks so much better. Now it might grow back, but that's all right. I'm confident I can hit it up a couple more times. It's amazing. Just the hairline is such a precision thing, and just, you know, some days, honestly, I woke up kind of depressed because it looked like I don't know how to explain it. Like if like I was wearing a hairpiece, it looked like the hairpiece wasn't on straight. It was like tilted and too long in that one spot. And also the direction was wrong. The hair was too far forward and the direction was wrong. So it was a double problem. So I'm really happy with that so far. We'll see. It'll probably take a month to see how well that worked. I don't expect to knock it out at one time, though. It would be great if it was knocked out at one time. Yeah, see, I can. And I still need a little work here, but it's just less pronounced. Now it really looks quite good. That's a huge relief. Yeah. I went to 3 different clinics. I went to 4 different clinics. The first clinic, they said they can't do it. They can't do head hair, only body hair. So I went somewhere else. The next place, they wanted the US equivalent of around $500, which seemed a little ridiculous. I don't know, maybe that's all right for America, but that seemed too high for Thailand. The next place, they had some kind of package deal that was closer to $100. That seemed all right. And then finally, the place I ended up going to, it's in the Japanese part of Thailand, and they claim to have some type of special Japanese laser, and I don't know, it did feel pretty good, and I did actually try to get hair removal one time on my neck, and that was extremely painful. And that hair is thicker and darker, but that I couldn't handle it. But this, it was like hot for a second, and then it was over. So definitely seemed like a good laser, good staff. Yeah, so I'm very happy about this. I've been waiting 4 years. I didn't realize how simple it was to fix that. I had a similar situation. I had this like big scar on my head, and I lived with that for like 10 years. It just unsightly and made me look disfigured. And then I became friends with Joe Tillman, who was working at Hassan and Wong, and Dr. Wong fixed that for free, but that took him like 30 minutes. So just kind of funny, like 10 years of pain that was fixed in 30 minutes. And this was not in the same league of that, but it has been kind of annoying, and you see me talking about it, and that was fixed in like 1 minute. It's kind of funny how easy and difficult things are at the same time. I did the currency exchange wrong. It was the equivalent of maybe $25. So this was only $25. So I started at 500 and I came down to something closer to 100, and it ended up costing $25. Now that was just one session, and I may end up needing 8 more, but that's very reasonable. So now I'm in the elevator. This is the kind of other lighting I was talking about. You can see with that really bright light, it's kind of see-through, but still pretty good. Even in this, like, you can see there's really intense lights. So that's about as bright as it's gonna get. Even with that, I have overcome some of that see-through, but it's not 100% gone. Got my mask on because it's Bangkok, and there's... Here I go again on my own, walking down the only road I've ever known. Let's take a look in the sun here. Fortunately, I'm a foreigner. People don't think it's weird when I do weird things. So one good thing about the beard hair is it can make your hair look like it has more volume and body, though it does have some problems. That's one benefit of that. My wife Noi clued me in on this fresh carrot juice. Sugar added. 20 baht, that's about 75 cents. Quite confident you will not get freshly squeezed orange juice in America for 75 cents. One of the benefits of living in Thailand: healthy and delicious and not expensive. back down, get a cappuccino, and go back home. That's my life. Look here, I got this. This font seems like it naturally wants to fluff up sometimes, and I think that actually looks better than having it lay flat. That's a good style. Just thought I'd show you how that looks. Now you know.